In the future world, Chinese becomes a global language. If you open your mouth to speak English, people will look down on you.
没有任何的保护，你在这里做什么
English.
Do you speak English?
？Yes, English.
Jack and Alice are cousins. Every day they live a life that is so bad. One night, the two siblings went out to ride their bikes. They accidentally came across a magical scene. Two humans suddenly appeared out of nowhere. The siblings' jaws dropped, but the next moment, the passing driver knocked those two people away. Seeing this situation, even rescue is not necessary. Send directly to the cremation it. The siblings were so scared that they gestured. That appeared out of nowhere. Either a traveler or an alien. Officer, you really do not properly investigate? But the police, in order to hurry home with his wife, directly attributed to those two people crossing the road. Then they picked up a strange thing on the side of the road. It had 4 Chinese characters written on it, crossing the smoke pot. It is obvious that the two people just now is the crossers. They went home and scanned the translation with their cell phones. The two siblings learned that this thing is used to travel. 1 puff and you can travel. 1 more puff and you can come back. Jack was immediately interested. Go up and take a puff. The two of them were instantly enveloped in smoke. They fell into the time tunnel. When they hit the ground, they found a huge footprint. Is this a chicken claw? Where did such a big chicken come from? This is a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex. They actually traveled to the dinosaur era. Let's take another drag. Before being blown up by a dinosaur, the two of them went back to modern times. But not only did they not feel scared, but also feel very excited. Want to do it again, but this time before crossing. To be well prepared. That is to do a beautiful hair. Of course a girl should dress up before going out. Then once again embarked on a journey through time and space. This time they came to the 17th century, but the villagers are not very friendly. When the two appeared out of nowhere, they insisted that Alice was a witch. Seeing this situation, Alice rushed to cross back, but the pot was snatched away, and it fell to pieces. She was taken away as a witch. Jack was treated as a guest. He was welcomed with open arms. The cousins traveled to the 17th century. The sister was arrested as a witch. It's a good thing this village believes in science. There is a strict testing process. If Alice passes the test and is still alive, then she's a witch. If she doesn't pass the test, she dies. Then she can prove she's human. The test is not just a piggy bank and chest-crushing stones. But fortunately, Alice survived. She managed to prove that she was a witch. Jack arrives with a repaired pot. He gave his cousin a chance to debate. Alice took out her speech prepared in advance.
A woman who can read and write! There's the proof! Burn the witch!
Seeing that her cousin was about to be burned to death, Jack asked to light the fire himself. When no one was looking, he took out his cigarette holder and took a puff. The two of them disappeared again out of thin air. The villagers let out a scream of terror.
Witchcraft is real! Burn all the women! Keep one from burning!
It may be that they did not fix it by themselves. They did not return home. Instead, they came to the primitive society. Just want to try again, only to find that they ran out of fuel. Through the smoke pot cannot be lit. In the face of the big, thick, primitive people, they can only lie on the ground and play dead. But primitive people are not bears. Carried the two back to the cave directly. Spent an indescribable night. The next day, in the wilderness, Jack finally found wild fuel. Then they traveled back to 1963. Compared to the previous times, the peace here was a great relief. They even bumped into Michael Jackson from their childhood. The siblings instantly came up with a plan to make money. They want to kidnap Jackson. They would kidnap Jackson and take him away in his sack when the adults in the family weren't looking. The next step was to let him write songs. Then they could make a name for themselves. But history can't be rewritten. Alice just opened her phone and found all the Michael Jackson songs inside, and they were all gone. It seems that when Jackson left his family, he couldn't be the king of his generation. They had a bold idea again. That is, the siblings would be the parents to adopt Jackson. But it was too difficult to raise a child in those days. Living in modern times, the two of them could not bear such hardship. So they found another opportunity to send Jackson home secretly. With Jackson's father chasing after them, the two siblings violently disappeared in place. This time they traveled to the future. The city of the future world is filled with garbage. The air is full of pungent smell. The ultraviolet rays are extremely intense. A few minutes will burn the skin. The two siblings who came through quickly picked up some garbage to protect themselves from the sun. At that moment some future people found them.
没有任何的保护，你在这里做什么
English.
Do you speak English?
Yes, English.
It turns out that in the future world, Chinese has become the official language. If you speak English, that will be looked down upon. And now this country has been ruled by a mysterious organization. They are destroying the environment for profit. They are destroying the environment. Plants went extinct many years ago. The siblings confessed that they had come through. The future is not surprised, because they have also developed a prop to travel through time and space. It was the firework that traveled through time, but they could not use it, because the plant used as fuel has become extinct. Isn't this a coincidence? When the siblings came, they were carrying a bunch of fuel. The future man saw plants for the first time. He was so excited that he couldn't speak. At that moment, the mechanical eagle that had been patrolling the air detected the presence of plants. Soon 2 people from the mysterious organization broke in. They took Alice into the lab. The future man gave the pot to Jack. He told him to go through the sewers to save his sister. He arrived at the lab. He found that the equipment here are afraid of water, so he used the water stored in his body. He destroyed the equipment here. The lab alarm went off. Alice took the opportunity to escape. The 2 of them smoked a lot. Back to the modern era. They found that their own time was the most comfortable. Finally they buried the pot. From then on, they lived a peaceful life.